Everyone's done the starred words,
Yes.
the definitions in the
Yes.
dictionary. Yeah. Okay. So we're continuing with Mac. Mac and a Thunderbolt. Yeah. I think today. Let's see. I think I want to get some groups going.
Oh.
Guys are a bit
The meal.
inclined to be dramatic. Did we gloss in all the page numbers from last time for the second list on Friday? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So let's start at page 12.
With you.
Let's just go back to the old fashioned. We'll just go around the room, like kind of like half page. Yeah. We'll do the individual reading today. Page 12. We'll start with you.
Me?
Yes. Matt couldn't believe his eyes.
Matt couldn't believe his eyes.
Please, so they can hear you.
The bus had arrived. He had waited eagerly for Ellie to get on. He had been longing to tell her about the Thunderbolt. He had been longing to get home and run down to the park with her. He had planned it all. He had paid the car red and put ahead
Huge.
black cloud and a large zigzag flag of yellow across the side of it, knowing that Ellie would just love it.
So huge. Huge means what?
Big. Very big.
Very big. Right. Not just big. Huge. What's a zigzag?
A zigzag. From
Zigzag
right to
is-
left, right to left, right to left.
So a zigzag looks like a letter
Z.
Z. Yeah.
Or S.
Or a phone call. Yeah. Right. Okay. Page 13.
Then he had seen her stumbling through the others. They had to help her down the steps. She was on crutches and one of her arms was in a sling. She had hurt herself on the camp on the last day, on the last hour, just as they were getting ready to leave. Mac was very disappointed. Who was going to push him now? Dad was at work, Mom couldn't, and now Allie couldn't either. Not only that, but poor Allie couldn't have a ride herself.
Okay, so I have a question about the last part of this paragraph here. It says, she had hurt herself on the camp, on the last day, on the last hour, just as they were getting ready to leave. Now, we were talking a little bit last week about, how Mac or how Allie would feel in certain situations. Why is this in the story? What does this do? She had hurt herself on the last day, on the last hour, just as they were getting ready to leave. How would that make you feel if that happened to you?
Sad.
Yeah?
And hurt? Like disappointed.
Disappointed. This is the word one of the words we were talking about last week. Disappointed. Why does it make the story seem that much more disappointing that she got injured so late in the camp?
It was about to happen in Mac's plan, but it doesn't.
Right. Almost. Right? I mean, if you think if you think that there's no chance for something to happen, absolutely no chance, right? Like, I'm not going to
Go ice skating.
win the lottery, right? I'm not going to get to be, I don't know, president of the U.S. You guys aren't from the U.S., but anyway, like, I was like, it's not going to happen. I'm not too disappointed when it doesn't happen. But if I think there's a chance, right? You think there's a chance, and it almost happens. You almost get what you want, and then, oh, right at the end, the last hour, the last day of the camp, and she's right? That's the disappointment. So it just kind of like digs it. It's like it's worse. If she had gotten hurt on the first day of the camp, he would have known about it already, right? But so it's like, what? You got hurt? Oh no. Disappointment. Page 14, better.
When they got home and Alex saw the thunderbolt, she was as disappointed as Matt. It's great. Matt, I love it, she said. Have you tried it out yet? No, said Matt sadly. I haven't. Now who's gonna push me?
Okay, and 15.
How good I am on this shoulder.
Don't worry, that's right to be feeling better. And you go to the park with him just before it gets dark and try it out. Dad had been complaining about a sore throat and feeling tired.
Okay, I got a question about that word complaining. Dad had been complaining about a sore throat and feeling tired for a few days. So, yes, you have a question? Okay. Does this literally mean that he's been complaining for a few days? Like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, all day long? Oh, you know, I've got a sore throat and I'm feeling so tired and don't ask me to do it. No, I can't do that. Can't you see I've got a sore throat and, oh, hey, could you bring me some water? I've got a sore throat. Has he been complaining for 3 days, like straight?
No.
You think so? Maybe not? Yeah. So, he's been complaining. In this situation, someone tell me what you think this really means. He's been complaining of a sore throat for a few days. Yes, no.
Like complaining is like when you're arguing with somebody and like you're complaining with, I don't know.
How long? Yes.
Complaining is like you're arguing with something that you don't like.
That's what the word literally means, but
Like
yeah.
telling, like if your mom gave you this like a cloak, and you say to your mom that you don't like it, like
Yeah,
that you don't
yes.
want it.
You're all completely right. 'Cause that's literally what complaining means. I don't like this. Why is it like this? This isn't the right one. That's not what I asked you for. Yeah. But here it says, Dad had been complaining about a sore throat and feeling tired for a few days. Let me show you something here. Complaining is an action, right? We have another word that's very similar.
Complain.
Complaint.
What does complain?
A complaint. Yeah. He has a complaint. His complaint is his sore throat and he's feeling tired. That's his complaint.
So it's like what he has like.
Yes, exactly. Here, the complaint, basically it means the same thing as his problem. What's your complaint? What is your problem? Yeah? His problem is the sore throat and the exhaustion. So, if he's been complaining of these problems for a few days, what this literally means is he's had this problem for a few days. It doesn't mean he's been talking about it all day. It just means that's been his problem for a few days. So Mac knows Dad's too sick. He's been complaining of this sore throat for 3 days. Doesn't mean he's been talking about it. It means it's been his problem. So it's not quite a literal meaning there. It's a little bit, kind of a nuance. Okay, 16. Where were we at to? Wait.
Andrea.
And yes, okay, 16.
Mac was waiting by the thunderbolt with Little John when he heard his dad's car pull up. Dad! Hey Dad! He called. Mac heard the car door. He called again. Dad! Hey Dad! Mac stood next to the car flicking leaves and pieces of grass from it. He waited. Dad didn't come out of the house. Mac listened. The front door closed and he heard voices. Then Mom's voice. Oh no, Mike. You look awful.
So the story is kind of like tends to get our hopes up and then bring them down, right? My sister's gonna be able to push me. Oh no, she's sick. Well, Dad, he's been sick for a few days. Well, let's see. Oh no, you look awful, right? Every time he gets his hopes up and then he's
Sad.
because he's
Disappointed?
disappointed. Yeah, the drama. Page 17.
Matt didn't like the sound of that. He left his car and walked inside. He took one look up at his dad and knew that there was no way he was going to be pushing a go-kart through underneath the car. Matt was coughing and sneezing. His eyes were half closed. He looked like a turtle. His nose was all stuck up and his voice was funny. I guess I'll be going to bed, he moaned. Dad didn't even get to see the thunderbolt. Matt set out, but Little John next to him and looked sadly at the thunderbolt. How long will I have to wait to get a ride? He wondered. Little John looked up at Matt and lit him on the cheek. They sat together and dreamed of zooming through Putney Park in the thunderbolt.
Okay, so it says Mac didn't like the sound of that. Mac didn't like the sound of that. The sound of it. This is another one of those situations where the description, the word doesn't, the sentence doesn't mean exactly what it says. Oh no, Mike, you look awful. Mac didn't like the sound of that. What do you think that means?
It's like the tone of how the mother says, and he knows that the mother is like worried or sad.
Yep, that's part of it. What do you say?
So he knew that he won't get a ride.
Right, he knew that he wouldn't get a ride. Yeah.
And then he thinks that it's like bad. It's like a bad news.
You read my mind. Thanks very much. Bad news. He was waiting to hear. Maybe Dad's getting better. Oh no, Mike, you look awful. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Sounds like bad news. Bad news. I don't like the sound of that. So, let's see. His nose was all stuffed up and his voice was funny.
It's like his nose was like he has a runny nose, he can't breathe well, and then it's like when he sounds funny. It's like when you're sick, you don't sound right.
Right.
You're coughing.
Right. So it doesn't mean that the family is all laughing at his voice, right?
His voice changed.
Yeah. It doesn't sound the way it usually does. It doesn't sound normal.
Like my dad.
It sounds funny because his nose is stuffed with mucus.
Right. So it's changed the sound. So the voice sounds different. It sounds strange. It sounds different. It sounds unusual. It sounds funny. That's funny.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Exactly. Funny like weird. Good. 18. Yes.
The next morning, Mac was the first one up. He had an idea. He went outside and greeted Little John. The big dog stretched as he walked from his kennel. Mac knelt down and looked Little John in the eye. "Hey boy, how would you like to go to the park?" Mac had a plan and Little John was a big part of it. Little John wagged his big tail. He liked doing things with Mac. It was always an adventure.
So does Little John have any idea what they're going to do?
Yes. Little John was planning, like maybe he thinks that Mac, because Mac was sad yesterday, so Little John thinks that he's going to pull Mac's Thunderbolt go-kart.
Do you think the dog actually knew that? We're going to go out to the park today and I'm going to get to pull the cart. That would be like Lassie, wouldn't it? He'd be really smart.
Maybe no, because he don't know anything and he's just a dog and he don't know human language.
Sometimes we wonder, right? Have you ever heard anybody say that? They'll swear to you. They'll say, "Oh, my dog understands everything I say. Whatever I tell him to do, he does it."
Like sit down.
Yeah, but it's usually simple stuff, right? It doesn't say. If he said, "Okay, your dog understands everything you say," tell your dog to get a pencil and sit down and copy down my shopping list. All right.
But the dog doesn't know every single word. No, he understands the person, but he just doesn't know how to speak. He only knows how to say woof.
Well, we don't know. I mean, he likes Mac, right? I mean, Mac is his owner. Mac is the person who feeds him every day and takes him out for walks and does everything together with him. So it says he liked doing things with Mac. It was always an adventure. Isn't that interesting? The writer of the book knows what the dog is thinking. That's kind of cool, huh? So we'll see if he knows what the plan is or not. Page 19. Yes.
Mac took hold of the Thunderbolt's steering rope and pulled it down Sherman Street towards Putney Park. Little John followed his big tail wagging all the way. Mac carried another small rope under his arm. When they got to Putney Park, Mac sat Little John at the front of his car. "Right," he said, tying the small rope to Little John's collar. "You are going to be like my horse, Alzay. You are going to pull me along in the Thunderbolt, okay?" Little John had no idea what was happening, but he wagged his tail anyway.
Yeah, right. Because Mac is smiling at him and he's talking. So you're gonna pull my cart, right? And he's like, yeah. I mean, he could have said, "Okay, you're gonna go get a job and earn some money for me, and you're gonna go out and buy me a pizza, right, boy?" Right? He's responding to the way he looks, right? The emotion. He knows, oh, Mac is happy. That means something good. Yeah. Woof. Right? No idea. But he wagged his tail anyway. Page 20. Yes.
Oh, and Mr. War, maybe the dog doesn't know the sit down but maybe the dog can see the emotion like that.
Well, yeah. Well, let me ask you. He can see the emotion, right? And they went down to the part with the thunderbolt, with the cart. Do you think the dog knows that he's going to be pulling the cart? No. He just knows Mac is happy. And something good is happening. This is good. Mac is happy. Woof.
He's gonna buy.
Alright. So, page 20.
Mac jumped into the thunderbolt. He was full of excitement. He felt his first ride. This was going to be great. Wait till Ali hears about this. He gripped the steering wheel. He wiggled himself into a comfortable position in his seat, took a deep breath and yelled encouragingly at Little John. Go boy, go! Little John turned and looked at Mac. Go boy, go! Mac yelled again. Little boy wagged his big tail and sat down. Mac tapped his rope. No, get up! LJ, get up and run. Come on, Little John was worried. He didn't know what he was doing wrong. He lay down and rolled onto his back. He whined. Mac put his hands to his face. Oh, bless him.
So, was Little John able to figure out the plan?
No.
Not at all. Not at all, right? Mac put the rope on him, and what did he do? Did he take off and pull the cart?
No. He rolled.
He sat down,
He sat down and then rolled.
and then he rolled over. Right?
And then the string became tied to his.
Yeah. That's what he does every day of his life, right? Those are Little John things to do. You know? It's like, I don't know anything about carts, go carts. Okay, page 21, Sean.
When Mac and Little John were home, Mac's grandfather had just arrived. He was standing at the front fence saying hello to Mom and Annie. Dad was still in bed. Grandpa saw the thunderbolt. Wow, what a great go-kart, he said. I bet that flies along, doesn't it? Grandpa was a sailor. He had his own boat. He even raced it sometimes.
Okay, and 22.
Mac looked at Grandpa. I don't know, said Mac suddenly. I've never had a ride in it. There's no one to push me. Mac's eyes suddenly went. Hey Grandpa, you... No, said Grandpa sleepy. I can't push you, Mac. If I could, you don't think I'd be able to go fast enough? Mac sighed. I tell you what though, said Grandpa. I know how you can get to ride on it all on your own. It will go pretty fast too. All we need is an old curtain or sheet and maybe a wooden stick or two.
Okay, good. And 23.
Daddy said Mac excitedly. How, Grandpa? Can you show me? So off they went to the garage. Mac's mom came too. They found an old curtain, a broomstick, and some other bits and peas. Grandpa
Fiddled.
let's say fiddle with the curtain, some curtain rings, a broomstick, and some rope. He were very pretty and knew exactly what he was doing. He soon finished making swing to the thunderbolt, and when he finished the thunderbolt,
Okay, so this is on the new list, right? The word is fiddle. Now, this word, fiddle. What is a fiddle?
Violin?
Yeah, it's a violin. It's kind of like a folk term for violin. Now, yes.
A lot.
Yes. Fiddle, yes.
With this.
Right, like fiddle, exactly like that, fiddle with that. But the word fiddle itself, we said, is another name for a violin. Yeah, what were you going to say, Mel?
Fiddle has two meanings, right? One is the violin and one is the touching and playing.
Right. Well, at first it looked a bit confusing to some people, right? They're kind of like, he fiddled? You know, he fiddled with the curtain. Right. So how does this word relate to the fiddle that you just showed me? What do you think?
Playing.
Right. So playing a fiddle and fiddling with something, is it a serious, like, kind of dedicated,
No.
very, I have a very strict purpose and exactly methodically, right? Fiddling with something. Show me again. Show me your fiddle with something.
It's like you fiddle like that.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like if you're nervous or if you're just like, wasting time, passing time. You're waiting to see the doctor. Yeah, he'll be back in a minute. Just kind of, right? So it's like playing around. It's like playing around with something, touching it. Yeah. So I say Grandpa fiddled with the curtain. So he wasn't playing music, he was just touching it. Okay. So when he finished, the thunderbolt, page 24.
Heavy sail. Grandpa showed Mac how to raise and lower the sail. He showed Mac how to stop and go. The morning breeze is perfect, said Grandpa. Let's go to the park and try it out. Everyone went, even Dad. No one wanted to miss it. As soon as he was in Putney Park, Mac climbed aboard the thunderbolt, raised his sail and waited for the breeze, and then he was away. Around the lake, over the ridge, past the fountain, and under the vines. Little John ran alongside him barking. Mac waved to the cyclists and they waved back. People walking their dogs stopped and had never
Stopped and looked.
Some of them clapped, some of them waved. They had never seen anyone sail through Putney Park before. Mac laughed and sailed on.
So it says, Mac climbed aboard the thunderbolt. Climbed aboard. What kind of talk is that?
It's for boats, but since it had a sail, so the writer just wrote it kind of bored.
It's right. It's like it's almost like now his go-kart has become a boat. Yes, yeah.
Mr. Warren, how will Mac see where she's going because of the sail?
Yeah, how will he see where he's going?
That's a good question, isn't it? It doesn't really explain to us. I don't really know. It looks like a great big sail, doesn't it? It looks like it would be big enough to be in his way.
Maybe he's following the dog.
Following the dog. Follow this dog? this genius, brilliant dog? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we can only assume that he can see around the sail somehow, or he can, kind of see ahead of himself. Maybe maybe the sail is not so big that he can't see around it. But you're right. That's a very good question. In this picture, that's a big sail.
It's like there was someone coming through the park through the pathway, and then they were carrying a big tree, and then Mac would poke his head on the tree.
Yeah, I mean, all kinds of things could happen, right? He could run into people. He could run into trees. I don't know. Maybe he just knows Putney Park very well.
It's like the story of. It's like he's.
The story.
It's like the story is not
Finish yet. Yeah. What about the mom is pregnant?
Yeah.
Well,
Did she born the baby yet? Mr. Warren, maybe the sail is a plastic.
Plastic?
It's a curtain.
Or a curtain.
Well, yes, it's a curtain. It's a curtain, like a window curtain. It's made of like fabric, like a sheet. Yeah.
Like a clear curtain.
A clear curtain.
Yeah.
So you think maybe you can see shadows through it?
Or maybe it's a clear plastic.
Doesn't look like
But you mean like a shower curtain?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it doesn't look